Hi, Seema Raghunath. Today I am doing a subject called the fault of our focus. Fault of our focus refers to some kind of a myopic vision because of which we're focusing on a tree and we're forgetting to see the forest that lies there, which means that the greater, larger perspective is missing in most organizations. From a pure HR standpoint, as well as interest from a business leader standpoint, I would say that the subject is important. Organizations are spending a lot of money. They're putting in a lot of time on two areas: corporate social responsibility and, of course, diversity and inclusion. In Indian context, diversity and inclusion for most parts is our focus on women at the workplace. It is about gender diversity. We're not necessarily all of us equally responsible towards the incorporation and the assimilation of differently able people. While there are guidelines and there is a law that requires us to put sufficient attention and interest into this one, it's still considered fairly new. The other area which is seriously outside the periphery of our discussion for most organizations is LGBT. But global organizations that have taken this into consideration are completely fine talking about it and doing active work around it in India, although the number of seminars, the panel discussions, and the general gung-ho discussion points would be far less for this subject as much as it may be for gender diversity from the angle of women inclusion. The fault of our focus is that we see most of these things as events. They are standalone events. It's almost like a check in the box. This got to be done for this quarter. So what have we done for the quarter? Did we do a talk show? Did we do a seminar? Did we do maybe a big round of cleaning the neighborhood street? But what we forget is that corporate social responsibility is something that you demonstrate on a regular basis. It's got to be a structured calendar that is owned by someone. And if you're not able to do it, give that job to someone else who's an external expert but steps in to make that commitment real and to ensure that your employees, from an engagement standpoint or from the value inculcation standpoint, genuinely stand by your missions in corporate social responsibility. You can't think about going and cleaning a river one day in a year, wearing a t-shirt and a cap, and then have your company logo stuck in your chest and think that your really corporate responsibilities are over and done. Likewise, when we talk about the inclusion of women at the workplace, improving their commitment to lifelong careers, you're looking at keeping that aspiration bit alive in women. You just can't have that done by bringing one person to come out and talk about it at one time, then bring in three other people who have a very different perspective, maybe people who just come out and share a general narrative about how they managed their life while they had babies and, you know, they managed their domestic responsibilities. This is really not the way a constructive approach is created. You know that strategic visioning is about a great execution, and an execution plan has to have a continuous touch point, something that is owned by somebody and ensures the execution as per plan. So the fault of our focus is that most of us just seem to be doing something for the sake of doing something and not because we genuinely believe in it or genuinely care. Do we want to change it? Maybe it's time to.